Hello, team. Welcome to a cast of a ladder match in Line War, the brand new RTS. It's between Imphenzia and Hawk. Imphenzia posted it in Discord. Apparently, we get, spoilers, some Navy action going. We have not watched this game. We have no idea what's going on. Uh, but we're going to find out. We're going to see what's up. So we have Hawk in red. Yeah, just to make sure that that's actually the player we're looking at. Hawk taking this island in the center of the map, and Fenzi starting on the right side. There's going to Quick City from Infenzia and a dock and a sub pen. Hawk taking two quick cities. Also, or yeah, two quick towns. I guess they're called towns. Bear with me. I'm also learning this game. And three factories. So one of these is probably a city you could actually upgrade, and a dock from Hawk. Look at that, that rhymes. And we'll see what Infenzia follows up with here. Very quick port. I'd imagine the idea is, yeah, and here we go. Like this port can trade with this one, and it gives you a ton of money. For those unfamiliar with the game, you capture territory on the map. You see these little white squares in the middle of the ocean. You can capture all of this and it gives you income. Same with these different white squares on land. So as you can see, Infenzia has 374 income right now. And Hawk, let's see what's up, has 430. So Hawk technically has a higher economy. Not that it matters immediately. We'll see, we'll see as the game progresses. We'll keep a tab on the income, and you can imagine in a game like this, income probably is gonna matter a lot if to win the game. Hawk coming down to this island. Infenzia is going to expand to this, I guess. This is kind of a weird island. I'd imagine you have to be able to take it because there's a town you can build there. But the expansion game is starting to get going for both players. I'd imagine Hawk will also take these islands because they don't know that Infenzia is over here, but you can kind of make a guess. I guess you could probably start over here too. Here's a refinery going down for Hawk, getting that energy income. And Infenzia has no well themselves. And actually, it's a question of what gas makes the most sense for Infenzia here. I have no idea what the answer is. A missile boat from Hawk, two more docks going down, and I would imagine. I still think one of these could be a city. Not that would be what Hawk is looking to do. Hawk at 464 income, and Infenzia very close behind. Probably negligible, the difference. For context, I don't know everything about this game by any means. So, this is a learning experience for all of us. But if you notice me having no idea what's going on, sue me. Get at me in the comments. Whatever. Obviously kidding. We disable comments. We have way too thin of skin. Yeah, so here we got it. We have a very quick two ports from Infenzia, so we'll be able to get some merchant ships going, which not sure exactly the income they give. I think it's something enormous, like 10 territories for, yeah, there you go. A trade route commuted by optimal number of merchant ships, roughly 120 capital per minute, so about 10 individual territories, which on an island map here is going to come into play. Sub noises sound great. All the game noises actually sound pretty cool, in my humble opinion, but I'm just a duck. Infenzi's going to get this rock here, which could actually turn out to be kind of big, because especially if they're able to control this town and really get more trade routes going, maybe use this as a launching off point to take this island. Neither player, I think, has scouted the other one. So I don't think either of them know exactly where the other is. They'll be able to figure out pretty quick here. And they're also very good at this game, so they probably already know because they just wizarded it in their head and they're like, no, for sure, the other player has to be wherever on the map. Um, this is what's going on. 510 income for Imphenzia, 500 for Hawk, so very similar. I guess, I mean, this makes sense. There's a good gas here, and Hawk will be able to jump over to this red island very quickly. Trade route for Imphenzia is up. I hope also, by the way, I'm saying Imphenzia's name right. I've never actually heard someone say their name. So I apologize if that's not it. I will learn. And yeah, here we go. So this is we got another town going up, and we can also put a port on this. And this is a whole whack of income if Imphenzia can keep those. And we've learned so far in this game that, yeah, here we go. Moving navies take a lot of gas, and that's what that noise is. So Imphenzia is kind of running out of gas, running at a deficit right now. Still, yeah, okay, Imphenzia is getting this top well, which is super necessary because these boats are going to run out of gas before they even get all the way to the islands. We can go see Hawk's gas income, which is, they're doing, they already have 2 refineries. And maybe their boats aren't moving as much. Cruisers definitely take a lot of gas. We know this. No idea how much a merchant ship takes. And so when this gets to 0, this boat will stop. Probably. Hopefully. There we go. I say hopefully to prove a point that I at least know what happens when boats run out of gas. Definitely have experienced that myself. Hawk will continue to get these islands on the far left side of the map. Already has this island. We can check into the income. Imphenzia at 689. And Hawk with not as much economy, but floating some cash. And making their way with the boats. We're still learning how the replay tools on this game work, so bear with us. Imphenzia going for, is this just cruisers? Yeah, just cruisers and subs from Imphenzia, which, I guess it makes a lot of sense, because you really need to make sure that you have control of the sea. The 2 missile boats are sweet, except for the fact that there's not really anything in the air for Imphenzia. Right? We'll see how that plays out. I wonder if Hawk will start going for... Can we click on these? No. Even if we're as Hawk. That's okay. I wonder if they will start kind of transitioning into the kind of cruiser look. We're about to learn if 2 missile boats and 2 transport ships with no one in it can beat a cruiser with a second cruiser showing up. Hawk doesn't think so. I'd likely agree. So that'll be chased away. This is it could become important because it is an oil, and there's going to be a lot of boats moving around, and like we said, boats take a lot of gas. We do have a power plant for Imphenzia, so this also creates some energy, as we can see. So gas-wise, Imphenzia's got it back under control. Hawk doing fine too. This will be quite the navy. Quite the navy going on here. I think one of the players in this replay probably chuckles if they heard me say this might be quite the navy. Obviously we have all the information being an observer. But, and here we go. So we have another trade route coming up. So This will be a ton of cash, and it's very safe. If rather, it feels very safe. Yeah, and here's this thing we're talking about: strikers on this bottom island that can really kind of launch here, because this is a city. So if Hawk kind of gets these three industries and then upgrades this town into a city, that also gives you quite a bit of resources, and I believe it's also 10. This is going to be a big naval engagement here. Imphenzia realizes that this is vastly outnumbered. There's enough boats from Hawk here that they will be able to see this submarine and attack it. Submarines are stealth, just like commandos, so if there are not enough boats around and they are not a destroyer, because a destroyer can see subs, then this would just be kind of doing, you know, like it'll just be attacking supply routes and boats and can't do anything about it. You just have to hope you hear it. Imphenzia moving some subs down the back. I like this, especially wonder if you can kind of move them through here to get at these gases, because right here Hawk has this pretty blocked. Like there's no way you're going to be able to move through this center part very easily. Gas wise, Imphenzia is still good. We're going to switch the player to just check how much gas Hawk has. Still pretty good. No danger of running out, which kind of matters. And Imphenzia is making a move to this on the top side of the map. This actually has a decent amount of land here for a water map. Hawk, of course, has beat Imphenzia to that island. We'll see if they'll be able to keep it. And we got a depot of fuel that's gone up for Imphenzia. This is really helping with the efficiency of these two refineries, because they'll, you know, as soon as they start filling up, they'll actually keep working and pumping fuel to use for later, which I think we're going to see that moving navies costs a lot of gas. Obviously making a ton of money. Imphenzia is at 835. Hawk I mean, it's the economy wise, they're both very similar. It's gonna come down to fights like this, I think, in my uneducated mind, but let's see if Hawk decides to pursue here, which not really, because if you threw this navy away, like either player, both these players are good enough that if their navies get thrown away, presumably they're gonna jump on each other. So Hawk is going for this. No, never mind. I misread this. There's no city yet. I wonder if one of these can be a city. But I guess there's like more pressing things going on. These strikers are almost going to be into play. There's 3 of them. That's kind of when they start becoming useful. You don't want to just send one striker and let it get owned by whatever's on the ground. This will be an interesting island to watch, because you can imagine, like, that's a decent amount of land and there is a gas on it, and it really will help deny whatever's on that island, which could be big because it's a city, and that's going to be a lot of income. Another port going down for Imphenzia. This is huge. So there's going to be 4 ports that are feeding this economy. Imphenzia has broken the 1K income mark. Hawk hasn't quite yet. Hawk definitely has a navy advantage right now. And I wonder what would happen if Hawk just kind of went for it here. You can see how expensive it is to move boats. Like, look at this energy. But if Hawk kind of just went at Imphenzia now, I don't know enough about micro battles to say whether, what is this? We got like 3 cruisers and a handful of missile boats. It's quite a few missile boats against 5 cruisers and 3 subs. That actually might be, I have no idea. I really want them to just attack here so we can find out. Of course, the date that this game was published will be in the video title. I have no idea when it was. but I'm rooting for past Hawk and Imphenzia to just go at it. Are they going to, or is this just going to be a big standoff? Getting kind of like a good concave a little bit, but this missile boat kind of wants it. This was, imagine watching this as the rest of Red's Navy. You're just like, yeah, okay. You tell us how it goes. See, this is a good blockade, but these are a lot of boats that are coming out, and we can see the energy income. And we're going for it. We're definitely going for it. This is a lot of cruisers for Imphenzia, but Hawk is moving forward, and if Hawk can break it here and get this gas, this is enormous, but I don't think it's going to work. More reinforcements coming, but you can already see that this is going to break. And Hawk is going to lose a lot of these boats, unless I'm totally misreading this. Which is possible. We're going to assume that's fine. Let's take a look at the North Island. Nothing's happening except for, I think that's a barracks going down for Imphenzia to make sure that that gets capped. Impenzia's income's still enormous. Hawk is right up there too, though. Both kind of hovering around 1100. And we can see that there's 8, what is this? I can't count. 9, no. Yeah, 9 docks just here. 9 shipyards, rather, for Hawk. And the aftermath of this fight is that Imphenzia, I think, got a very good trade. Moving all the boats, this costs a lot of gas. Let's check the gas for both players. Both doing fine. They know how to handle their gas. This is all good. A sub kind of up here to just protect these 2 refineries, which is fantastic because you don't want those sniped. And now we're going for a move on this South Island, which is a very important island. If you can get this, and if Imphenzia can get to these docks, that's a lot of production that goes away. That's at least how my unskilled mind thinks of it. Hawk's getting good eco here, and this city could turn out to be huge because we're almost at the point where the majority of the map is actually claimed land-wise. Strikers going right to this pass, and there's not a lot of missile boats, so this will actually be pretty good. I think this will be a good attack. We'll see how this plays out. We're still learning the math of how it works. So what does 5 strikers do in this sort of situation? Even if they cut off 1 cruiser, that's pretty good. Especially since this is the navy that we're going to follow up with. And if this navy of Imphenzias can get in here, I mean, that's pretty close to GG. But this is not going well. The strikers do get the cruiser, so that's big. So that thing's not going to be there. And they still have enough to be in the fight and stick around, although it's going to be close as to who wins this. Because the reinforcements for Hawk are going to be here way quicker than Imphenzia, right? Because you need to motor all the way up. So this is kind of sketchy. Very close though. But I mean, there's 8 cruisers now for Hawk. Let's see this North Island. Let's go check it again. Imphenzia is just going to get control of that. This is a full industry. Probably going to go city here potentially. Hawk will, and we can check the incomes again. Imphenzia at 1400, and Hawk is quite a bit further behind them. And I wonder if that's because of all these boats, because these trade routes are getting saturated at this point, and that's when the bonus comes in. So in some sense, the fight might be for this island. If Imphenzia can really establish a beachhead here, and get in, like, there's not really much that Hawk can do because there's no like air assets. There's not a lot of ground production. Like Hawk is moving these infantry over to try to deal with that. Very smart play. There's a lot in Navy from Hawk though. These cruisers and subs are just booking it out of here. The strikers so far have been like pretty effective, but now Hawk's kind of correcting course and getting some missile ships, and it's pretty easy to produce them when you have 10 shipyards. 10 shipyards. Ground-wise, Imphenzia is doing great on the bottom, but there's only 3 shipyards and a sub-pen for Imphenzia. Oh, here you go, another shipyard on the north. But like production-wise, you know, Navy, it's going to be hard to continue to keep pace with that. These boats are just hanging out, bumping into each other as massive tankers do. North Island, which is very interesting. Good an airstrip here, which will be able to really kind of jump to that island and deny that eco, which I'm sure, you know, Imphenzia likely at least suspects that Hawk has grabbed. We got 2 massive reserves of fuel for Imphenzia. Hawk is going to notice that this island has been taken, and really it's, I think in a lot of sense it comes down to this fight. Also, this is the first game of anything that this duck has ever casted, so if we're missing some of the action somewhere and you're like, well, what the heck, go back to the big fight. Apologies. It happens. We'll work on this. This is an enormous navy from Hawk, and as long as they don't run out of gas, which they're not going to run out of gas, because these refineries are all full. Like this is pretty scary, because that navy is I don't know. Imphenzia might actually have something similar. We're really learning now. I wonder how important it is that these infantry are in the forest, or some of them are, because there's a huge bonus for infantry in forests. They might be able to break Imphenzia's position there. One of the more decisive things that are going on is this fight, but we can watch this picture-in-picture almost of the 2 sides. Imphenzia takes up the eco of Hawk. I believe both players are floating a decent amount of cash. Who cares? A gazillion things are going on. We're just kind of letting this play out. It sounds very good. Props to the sound design in this game, in my humble opinion. This is tough. This is definitely a tough moment for Imphenzia, but Imphenzia's gonna have enough. This is gonna, I think, potentially. And this island, it's still going well. Imphenzia is really still digging in here, putting down more production, 2 barracks, making tanks out of the factory here. Those will be huge for destroying these dockyards very quickly. I guess they're called shipyards. We're misusing the terminology. I still call airports starports. You know, StarCraft habits die hard. We missed it. Here we go. Imphenzia subs doing what subs do best. 1 single sub, and they could deny both of these gases. And it's the only reason that Hawk's going to notice this is because it's going to be on their screen that this is happening. The flames going down. Because you can imagine if it was, you know, this refinery. I mean, when would your camera ever be over there? So you might totally miss it. Let's check the econ. Imphenzia at 1800, Hawk at 1100, so that's kind of dangerous. But do we have a spoilers moment from chat in Discord? Is this going to be an overextension? Because there's no way that Imphenzia is able to see all these docks. That the opponent has gone for 9 docks, whatever this is. No, 10 docks. We can count. Yeah, and here we go. 4 missile boats alone just hanging out right here. We got a transport ship going down, whatever. Unfortunately, Imphenzia wasn't able to jump on this production quicker, and yeah, it's just retreat out of this pass. This is not ideal. Imphenzia's sub was able to get this though, and is attacking the gas, this second gas. They're also making gains on the north and taking out this econ. So the econ really of Hawk is struggling here. Gas-wise, they still have enough for sure. There's still like 3 refineries or whatever's going on. This is still a huge fight. And if Hawk can push this back, but I don't think they're going to be able to. And once they kind of lose these docks, these shipyards, it's going to be kind of tough to come back. Imphenzia ecoing up back here, which is always good. I mean, these players know the benefit of macro. They're able to keep on top of it. Imphenzia gets that second dock, or second refinery. So if Imphenzia is able to pull back these boats, there could be a chance that they could bleed Hawk dry, because you can see the amount of energy that Hawk uses just to move these boats out of this inner channel, right? And Imphenzia, I mean, it's still going down, but Imphenzia has more fuel to work with by far. But it's not going to matter if all the boats get lost. We'll see if Hawk has enough. 4 subs and a gazillion cruisers against 10 missile boats and a gazillion cruisers. Good arc from Imphenzia though. This is probably a good concave, but there's a lot of firepower on the north side of this fight. Ed and Imphenzia knows it, and they're trying to get out of there. These docks, these shipyards are still pumping the merchant boats. That is a lot of money, but it might not matter. If the Navy gets lost here, this game is surely over, because then Hawk will be able to just push and get rid of all this. And once you have control of the sea, it's going to be pretty tough. This island is definitely going to be in Imphenzia's favor, but will it be able to do anything before the navies are done fighting? And the answer might be no, but let's check that gas again. Like, yeah, Hawk is almost running out of gas. And if Hawk runs out of gas entirely out here and leaves his navy, their navy, dead in the water, that'll be very difficult. Hawk has actually been able to, is going to reclaim this island on the top. Never mind. There's enough in the mountains. Imphenzia definitely has that north island. Clearly Imphenzia has a lock on the economic game at this point. 2200 income. We're not even going to check Hawk's, because there's no way it's at 2200. Hawk has now rebuilt this refinery, but the gas-wise, they are about to get the notification. We're going to hear the noise, potentially. Oh, maybe we don't. Of the low gas. Maybe that refinery comes online just quick enough. Yeah, Hawk is definitely going to be able to kill this refinery, and Imphenzia is starting to run out of fuel. Because that's just how expensive boats are. They're just expensive. Jeez, boats are so expensive. So powerful. You can see that we're just learning about the game. That looks so cool when the refinery blows up and then the pipeline explodes behind it. So Imphenzia definitely will be able to take out these shipyards, but it's a question of whether this is just a little bit too late. Well, that's not true at all. We're misreading this game. Imphenzia surely wins this, right? This is what's so cool about Line War. I have no idea what's going on. This could be like the biggest win for Imphenzia, and I'd assume it's got to be in their favor because they have twice as much income. But these boats might be able to defend at least this dock, but it'll be tough. I think this is the last hurrah for Hawk in a lot of ways. Island maps, it's kind of hard to spend the money sometimes, it feels like. But I think both players are probably now in a race for killing their gas. Hawk is going to lose that entire navy. They lose this refinery. That is a fourth of their gas income, I believe. No, a fifth of it. They have that refinery. Imphenzia is going to be able to push this back, but they're going to be out of gas. They won't be able to push up here. But in a lot of ways, that doesn't matter because this is such a win on the production of Hawk. Like, now they have the upper hand on production, I believe, on the number of docks in a lot of sense. Like, let's see. Hawk has Love that noise. Yeah, see, Imphenzia can't really move the Navy out, just because the it's so expensive, and there's really only 2 refineries and a power plant that Imphenzia has. Is there another gas, or is it just 3 gas? They are taking this 4th gas. Imphenzia is taking this. The helicopters are out. This is still, I mean, the amount of times I've done this, where I've just left like especially a helicopter command floating around. This is such an hilarious amount of docks that Hawk has, and they're able to just bounce back up on this, what is now like a third of the eco. They have tons of gas. They've reestablished that. This could be a city, but there's a gazillion things going on in the game. And they don't quite have the money for it. Likely, if you're trying to build a city, it costs like 450. But if you're in a situation where you just lost 4 shipyards and this island in its entirety, you're probably not thinking about ecoing. Maybe you should be. I don't know. I'm not super great at this game or anything. We'd have to ask Nickname. They would know. But the Hawk still has a chance if they can push through here, get this gas. Imphenzia is out of gas. Really, it's funny because Imphenzia killed 4 shipyards there, and Hawk still had enough to build a navy back. And Imphenzia can't really put down more shipyards because there's just not enough gas to be able to sustain those. Hawk doing a great job to get this island back, at least start contesting it so that Imphenzia has to think about it. This is quite the exciting game. But maybe it's going back in Hawk's favor. Did we not just say 5 minutes ago if Imphenzia loses this game, then we thought they would win the game, rather? Gotta love line war. The game is never over till it's over. There's a lot of docks up here, but I wonder how much gas this would cost for Imphenzia to move these boats down south to get involved in this fight, because it might actually drain a lot of the gas. And I don't know if these merchant boats use gas at all. Imphenzia doing a great job to deny these 2 gases of Hawk, and we can see what happens with Hawk's income, or energy income. So Hawk is making 120 gas per minute, Imphenzia is making 136. Hawk doing a great job to if they come down here and start killing these trade routes, that would be a huge blow to Imphenzia. And in some sense, Imphenzia still has stacks and stacks of cash. So the trade route wise, maybe it wouldn't matter. Imphenzia is launching strikers at this navy. There are just kind of enough boats that even though they're not missile ships, they might be able to take these strikers out. I certainly want to be flying over that many boats. So Hawk gets 2 of the boats. It looks like Imphenzia gets 1 cruiser in return. This is the navy battle that will be going down here. This is not looking good for Imphenzia on this center island, especially because Hawk is able to reinforce it with their production on this northern island. These 2 cruisers are getting caught in a little bit of a pinch. Not ideal. Gas-wise, still good for Imphenzia. We're not going to check Hawk, but we're going to assume it's fine, even though they're moving so many boats around. Yeah, and if Hawk is able to push through here, then Imphenzia is in trouble, because now all this infrastructure is legitimately dead. There's some helicopters that will be able to help out in the defense, but it's probably not going to be enough. The SAMs have arrived for Hawk. They're walking right into this artillery. I think it's probably more important what's going over here, not microing SAMs. And this is maybe over, and Hawk might take this. off of an eco that is, well, less than half of Imphenzia's. Island maps are tough. They're definitely tough to navigate. You know, in my limited experience so far, that sub hitting this one cruiser, that was fat. See, these boats actually can't see the sub anymore. There's not enough boats around for this, for these, I guess, 4 cruisers now to see it. With these 2 cruisers coming in, they might be able to see this sub. We'll see. We don't actually know how exactly the stealth on the subs work. It's once there's a critical mass of things around it to spot, then they will be seen. These strikers just patrolling this route, and so Hawk will take a kind of like a northernly course up to kill this gas potentially. Gas-wise for Hawk, still looking good. We can check in on this northern island. These helos are huge, and Imphenzia is actually still on a gas that you would some would think would be Hawk's gas in general. There's no way that it would be unsafe. And in return, Hawk is going to not take out this gas. There's no way that Hawk is able to take that out. We'll try to keep both these fights in the picture. This center island is now turned into a contested thing, but Imphenzia is haste moving this landing party onto this island, which is actually huge, and there's some SAMs involved. They were also able to keep this gas, which is enormous. We're trying to move all these boats. A lot of infrastructure going down on this southern island, including econ, which, like, holy cow. The econ game here is very strong for Imphenzia, and especially if they're able to get this island, which they probably will be able to secure it. Taking out this gas in the back, that's multitasking Hawk very hard, I believe. At least I would be panicking. And Imphenzia's for sure got this locked up. There's no nuke or anything that Hawk is going to be able to launch at this. And this airfield is actually really strong for Imphenzia because there's not much anti-air here besides whatever missile boats pop out of these docks and the handful of SAMs that are able to show up. And you know what? That was it. That has to be it, right? I just realized in these replays, there's no I guess we don't see chat, and we don't see, you know, we don't know who won. But we're gonna assume that Hawk bowed out. We don't actually know who won. We just downloaded this replay pack and we're like, yeah, sweet, we're gonna do it. Sweet, very good game. GG. Very interesting game. Sweet to see the Navy used. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Check out the Line War Discord or, you know, Twitch or whatever. I stream it. There are other folks who also stream it. Just, you know, follow Line War as a category. Tell your friends. It's a fun game. Support some, you know, small RTS companies, and it's a very interesting and fun project with a lot of potential. Enjoy, folks. Have a great night or day, evening, whatever it is. Have fun. See ya.